Let's talk about Sonnet 9 of the Bloodless Blade. The prince allowed a smile to ghost his lips. So in this case, this is like a weary smile. He's like, yeah, I get it. I know you know that I lead the military, as we saw in the previous sonnet, in Sonnet 8. Yeah, I know. I lead the military, yeah. But my capital is not quite so robust. This is talking about political capital here. So his political capital is not robust enough that he can just do things without asking anyone. The second prince can fall without eclipse upon the royal line to which we entrust stability, authority, and more. So what he's saying here is the reason why he's the one who leads the military, the reason why the second prince is in charge of the military is because he's disposable. He can die, and that's not a problem. That's the meaning of that line there, or those 3 lines. The second prince can die, and it's not a problem to the royal line. It's horrific. And yeah, it's a horrible thing that he has to sort of have on his shoulders all the time. That, yeah, the reason why he leads the military is because anyone more senior in the royal family leading the military, if they died, that would be a real problem. But if he dies, who cares? And so that leads to cost my family face is well beyond the power dealt to me to take a fall. So I'm not allowed to harm my family's reputation, is what he's saying here. I'm not allowed to. They have not given me the power to do that. So a four means to go before. So if someone goes before someone else, which is what he does, he goes into every war before anyone else does. I beg of you to trust and not despond. That's just what it says. There's nothing to add there. I'll more than match the army he sends forth and ban my men from raiding nearby lands. So this is something that, because this poem is against the backdrop of not a modern, like a modern story within a novel, this is set in like a early Renaissance period. A modern reader might not understand what's being said here or what's being implied here, but a early Renaissance reader would. So the idea of an army raiding nearby lands is something that someone in the early Renaissance would absolutely understand. And in most of history, people would understand. It's just that we live in a much more peaceful world than in most of history. And in a regular military campaign, you don't have a supply line where you can just constantly get supplies from your own home. So you actually have to raid nearby lands. So any of the materials that were going to your enemy, let's say you're in enemy lands, any materials that were going to your enemy, now they're coming to you. So you raid places so that all their materials are now coming to you. That's more relevant to siege warfare than anywhere else, but also this is a border town. It is still going to be a long supply chain no matter what. So it is more likely that they're going to be raiding nearby lands than sustaining a supply chain from the capital and the surrounding farmland all the way to where they're fighting. Then we have, I swear your town and farms won't be Excorth. So Excorth is a new word that I have made up here. It's not a real English word, but Excorth is a word that I made up to mean the exploitation of land, the extraction of resources by an occupying military force that causes that land to be left barren. So it's meant to evoke the kind of same sound as scorched earth, which is why it's like Scorth at the end here, so Excorth. But yeah, that's what that's referring to, and I'm saying that in this setting, this is a word that exists that describes the exploitation of a land by an occupying military force that leaves the land barren. I'll see no soldier raise a violent hand against your home or any that surround. I swear, no one's going to get hurt because I won't allow it to happen. But obviously he can't do that. His soldiers are probably just going to reject his orders and do it anyway. But he's still promising this. An oath by which my army shall be bound. Again, he's saying this. It's probably not true. His army's probably not going to be bound by this. And so that's going to be a whole issue that will likely come up later in the poem. But thank you for listening, or thank you for watching, in fact, because there is technically a video here, ish. But thank you for watching, and if you want to see more, please subscribe.